Do you want a relationship where your partner is incredibly attracted to you? Now, I realize that some people may not want this. For some people, it could be a burden that has to do with some psychological issues. But if you want your partner to be incredibly attracted to you in your relationship, whether you've been together for 5 years, 10 years, 1 year, 20 years, then this is the most important video you'll ever watch. In the previous videos, we talked about how you can merit your relationship. A relationship is either granted or merited, granted being the death knell of that relationship. So you want your relationship to be merited. How do you do that? In the previous video, we talked about how you must be compelling so you can become deserving of that relationship. What is it to be compelling? How do you become compelling? You must become a reasonable person. Meaning, base fundamentally your relationship, your communication on reason. And the mindset for that, to be able to achieve that, is this. You can easily become compelling by changing your mindset. Making a mindset shift, which is called a paradigm. Make a paradigm shift. And you make the paradigm shift in this way. Change your relationship from being granted, meaning this person is already granted to me. They belong to me. You understand? That's a conventional way of how people do relationships, which is unbelievably toxic, tragic is the appropriate word. Change your mindset from that, from your partner is already granted to you, to the central theme, the central tenet, which means the central theme of my existence, of my relationship, is deservedness. What is the word that defines, what is the other word for merit? Deserve. To merit something is that it deserves that existence. To merit your relationship is to have the relationship deserve its existence. It's there because it deserves to be there. The relationship dynamic exists because it deserves to be. Now, how do you deserve the relationship that you want? And that's the key point. First of all, change your philosophy, your paradigm about a relationship to be the central tenet being deservedness. Say to yourself, the central theme to my existence, the central theme to my relationships is deservedness, is that the relationship exists because it deserves to exist. And that I take protocols, I have protocols, which I'll talk about in a few seconds, so that it deserves to exist. Deservedness is the state of being deserving. Ness, the last 4 letters in that word, deservedness, to have something as ness means state of being. So worthyfulness is a state of being worthyful. That's a central tenet, that's a central theme to my existence, which is the result, which the corollary to that when it comes to relationship is that deservedness in the relationship, meritedness. Deservedness, remember, is your state of being deserving. Now, how can you get yourself to that state of being deserving? Here's how you do it. When you look at the word deservedness, being deserving, the state of being deserving, for those of us who recognize or remember grammar, what is being? Being is an action word. Do you understand? Being is an action word. The state of being deserving is the actions you take so that you can be deserving. The state of being is the actions you take of being deserving. Because being is an action word. This is incredibly important for you to take in. So, with that in mind, you must do the actions to become deserving. Deserving of what? Deserving of the relationship that you want. if it's a good relationship based fundamentally on love, where your partner is attracted to you, gravitated towards you, whether or not the arrangement exists. Most relationships, virtually all relationships, are fundamentally based, the central tenet being the arrangement over the feelings of the individuals involved. The institution of the union is more important than the individuals involved in that relationship, which to me is heinous. Unless you enter into the relationship, the union, the marriage, a marriage is a union, you enter into it wittingly, knowing what you're doing, that you're doing it because of the marriage, regardless of the personal, individual feelings involved, such as a monarchy, where you marry for the power, for the land, or any other arranged marriages. That is what an arranged marriage is. It's fundamentally based on arrangements. And those work because people enter into it recognizing, hey, it's not about love, it's about the business. It's about the union. Do you understand? So, that to me is heinous. I prefer and I encourage, if you want a relationship fundamentally based on love, recognize that the central tenet must not be the arrangement. In fact, eschew the arrangement. Let's base this relationship on how we feel about each other and the dynamic involved, and then we'll make arrangements secondary to that. Do you understand? We'll hang out secondary to how we feel about each other, how we respect and admire and adore and love each other. We'll base our arrangements on that. Perhaps you make an arrangement, hey, let's live together. We love each other, we adore each other, we respect each other, and I see that if we were to live together, we'll get along really well. We're synergistic, we support each other's business. You understand? The other way around is we'll live together and then we'll figure everything out. We'll live together despite how we feel about each other. Do you know how many people live like that? Virtually everybody. So, what are some actions you must take? Because to reach the state of being deserving. Let me give you an example. How do you deserve answers? Ask yourself that question. How do you deserve an answer? You have a question, you want an answer. What action must you take to deserve that answer? You got the answer? The answer is in the question. The question is the answer. In other words, for you to get answers, you must ask questions. And only those who ask get the answer. Do you understand? Many people presume a lot. They presume and they take for granted that they're supposed to get the answers. And seldom do people ask, for whatever reason, psychological baggage, ego, whatever the reason is. They want to buoy themselves up to look good because asking questions will make them look less than what their ego perceives them. They don't want to look smaller than what they imagine other people view them as, so they don't ask questions. How do you deserve? How easily can you get $1,000? If you ask enough people, you'll get enough money. So you ask questions. I'll talk more about that in a different video. How do you get the truth? How do you deserve the truth? You practice open communication. You encourage them and insist that, hey, you can communicate anything with me. You slept with that gal? How did it go? You slept with that guy? How did it go? Tell me. I'd love to hear about it. Open communication. Number 3, how do you deserve love? People love cats. People adore cats. They don't do anything. They just do what they want to do. Why do you love them? It's because they're incredibly lovable. People are incredibly lovable too, except they have so much baggage to impart about other people because of inhibitions and grantedness. Eschew being taken for granted, deserve by giving love, being non-judgmentally accepting and openly communicating.